In May 2012, Canada became the center of a horror story that felt entirely fictional. Packages wrapped in pink tissue paper began arriving at federal political offices in Ottawa and schools in Vancouver. Inside were severed human hands and feet, accompanied by cruel notes. At the same time, a graphic video depicting the brutal murder and dismemberment of a human body began circulating in the darkest corners of the internet. The man responsible was a failed actor and narcissistic drifter who had spent years desperately chasing infamy. His name was Luka Rocco Magnotta, and by the time police realized what they were dealing with, he was already gone, triggering one of the most extraordinary international manhunts in modern history. But before we follow the monster, we have to remember the victim. 33-year-old Jun Lin was an international engineering student from Wuhan, China, who had moved to Montreal in 2011 to study at Concordia University. Those who knew him described a kind, hard-working, and deeply optimistic young man. His family had sacrificed everything to give him the chance of a better future abroad. He was their brightest hope. On the evening of May 24, 2012, Jun Lin was captured on surveillance footage walking into Magnotta's apartment building in Montreal. He was wearing a yellow t-shirt and shorts. It was the last time he was seen alive. Hours later, the same cameras showed Magnotta walking casually back and forth to the building's basement trash room, wearing Jun Lin's yellow t-shirt. The murder had not been spontaneous. Prosecutors later proved it had been planned months in advance. As far back as December 2011, Magnotta had sent a chilling anonymous email to a British journalist writing, "Next time you hear from me, it will be in a movie featuring humans." And that once you kill and taste blood, it's impossible to stop. He wasn't exaggerating. On May 29th, a janitor investigating a foul smell in an alleyway sliced open a heavy plastic suitcase and found a human torso. Almost simultaneously, severed body parts began arriving at political party offices and schools across the country. And then the video surfaced, explicit, deliberate, and uploaded by Magnotta himself, complete with a soundtrack lifted from Basic Instinct. By May 31st, Interpol had issued an international red notice, but Magnotta had planned his escape just as carefully as his crime. Hours after the murder, he had boarded a commercial flight under his own name and flown to Paris. French police came agonizingly close, finding his hotel room still warm. He had left behind magazines and a sickness bag from his flight. He crossed the border into Germany before they could close in. The manhunt ended on June 4th in a Berlin internet cafe, in what can only be described as a moment of pure, poetic justice. The cafe manager glanced at a customer and recognized him immediately, because Magnotta was sitting at a terminal, reading news articles about himself. The manager quietly stepped outside, flagged down a passing police car, and within minutes, Magnotta was cornered. When officers asked his name, he cycled through false aliases before finally looking up and saying calmly, "You got me." He was extradited to Canada under heavy escort. At trial in late 2014, Magnotta admitted to the killing but pleaded not guilty, arguing he had been in a state of psychosis and couldn't distinguish right from wrong. The prosecution dismantled that defense methodically, pointing to the months of planning, the premeditated escape, and the emails sent before the crime. After 8 days of deliberation, the jury found him guilty on all 5 counts, including first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. Outside court, a lawyer representing Jun Lin's father read a statement that stopped the room. He said that he had come to see justice done, and he had, but he had also come hoping to hear some form of remorse, some form of apology. He left without it. Magnotta wanted his name to live forever. True justice means making sure it's Jun Lin's that does. Stay safe, look out for one another, and I'll see you in the next video.